I have a baby inside me.
Can you take it out?
No, we cannot. That's not what we do here.
I feel bad because I was the one who put the baby in her. Did you ever put one in your daughter? Everybody dance now. What is more dangerous, this virus or the Democrat?
Democrats.
And while the risk of coronavirus remains low, as the president said yesterday, we're ready for anything.
Michael Penis, I brought the girl for you.
So I just got done watching the new Borat movie, and I thought it was really well done. Like, I didn't love the arc of the story. I thought it got a little bit tedious, but the specific bits in which he's influencing these people to engage in crazy behaviors on camera, I think is just fascinating. I mean, he's getting a plastic surgeon to make anti-Semitic remarks. He's getting a guy to price out his daughter at a debutante ball. And then we've all heard about Giuliani getting stuck with his hands in his pants, which I promise we will talk about. I'll do it at the end of this clip here, this video. We'll talk about Giuliani because I think that was, to me, the most shocking bit of this whole entire thing. But what I wanted to do in this video is talk about the psychological mechanism. What is the strategy? How is Sasha Baron Cohen getting these people to engage in such crazy behaviors? There are three different kind of categories of influencing. The first category is Borat is talking to a crazy person and he gets them to say crazy things. A second category is when Sasha or Maria, Borat's daughter, are in a large group setting and they say offensive or wild things and it's sort of left unchecked and you think, well, isn't somebody in this crowd going to say something? And the third bucket has to do with normal people that Borat is able to say crazy things or engage in crazy behaviors. So let's start with the first bucket, the crazy person. So what Sasha is doing is he's creating a relationship that is bringing down their guard. He's creating a relationship, he's aligning with them so that they don't feel like their thoughts are going to be judged. Which that sounds simple, but the way he's doing it, I think, is really important. What Borat does in almost every single clip is he anchors the conversation to something that is especially nuts so that when the crazy person says something, moderately crazy, it seems totally reasonable. So for example, when Borat is on quarantine at a house with two Republicans, and he says, I think Democrats are demons and they should have less rights than Republicans, it doesn't seem as nuts when the two Republican guys say, yeah, but unfortunately they do. Right? Sasha has anchored the conversation so that their comments seem somewhat reasonable. And that same strategy is often used in drug and alcohol counseling. So for example, if you want to know how much alcohol somebody drinks, you wouldn't say, hey, how much alcohol do you drink in a week? What you would do is you would try and anchor the number higher. So do you drink 18 beers on a weekend? Do you drink 7 days a week? Right? You start high so that when they give their number, they're not feeling judged by it and they're more comfortable giving you a bigger number, which is probably more accurate. All right, to the second bucket, influencing large crowds. This is really, to me, we're just seeing the bystander effect in action. So if you've not heard of this before, the bystander effect essentially says that if you are in a large crowd, you are less likely to get support or aid if you need help. What happens is you get hurt or you're a victim of a crime or whatever, and people disseminate responsibility. They just sort of pass the buck because there is inherently some risk in helping you. So it's kind of a sad part of our makeup, right? Humans don't want to get hurt. We don't want to take on risk. So if there is a chance that somebody else will do the dirty work, most of us will pass the buck. So when Borat hops on stage at a Republican concert and starts screaming offensive things or starts singing offensive things, it's really easy for the people in the crowd to pass the buck to somebody else. And next thing you know, he's able to get through a long song, which is really offensive. So just as a side note, with the bystander effect, if you are ever in a large crowd and if you ever do need help, it is good for you to specifically point to people. It is good for you to specifically say, hey, you in the blue shirt, I need help, do something, right? By doing that, you hold that specific person accountable and they are much faster to act. And as soon as you get one person to act, the risk goes down and being in the out crowd of not doing anything becomes all of a sudden socially damaging and you'll see a lot of people wanting to help immediately. And then onto the last bucket, getting normal people to engage in absolutely insane behavior or put up with absolutely insane behavior. This is getting a woman to write on a cake, get rid of all Jews or whatever it was, or going to a UPS store and making the guy fax letters that talk about your own death, or going to a store and buying a cage to house your daughter at night. Like all of these crazy things that Borat was able to get people to engage in. To me, this is just conflict avoidance. People want to be happy. They want to have a smooth sailing, easy life. And so we will look for whatever excuse there is, any way we can, to get rid of the responsibility of conflict. We do not want to be involved. So that means, just like in the Bystander Effect, if possible, we're going to rely on other people to step up and navigate the conflict. And you have to remember that Borat is traveling with a film crew. The narrative here is that he's a journalist, so he's got a guy with a camera filming him. So I think it's really easy for these normal people to look around and go, well, there's somebody else who's going to step in before this goes really crazy. Or this can't be totally accurate, or this will get caught somewhere else, right? I'm going to share that responsibility, and I'm not going to step up to stop this guy from putting his daughter in a cage. So I think those psychological mechanisms explain most of the behavior in the movie. I can watch it and go, okay, I think I know how you got this person to act this way. Except for Rudy Giuliani. That I cannot wrap my head around. I've watched the clip over and over and over again. I've seen him on YouTube saying, hey, I was tricked. This is Hollywood magic here, making it look bad. And I believe him. I do believe, his argument is, I was tucking my shirt back in. That's why my hands were in my pants. And I have watched the clip repeatedly, and I do believe he was tucking his shirt back in. But to me, that doesn't explain why, in an interview, you go from having a normal conversation to repeatedly touching the attractive interviewer's hip, while you're all of a sudden in the bedroom with her, while you're letting her undo your mic from your belt buckle or your pants, I don't know why the mic is stuffed in the front of your pants. I don't know why you're on the bed with her. I don't know why you're leaning back and laying down with her. And I don't know why you're so startled that you jump out of the bed when somebody else walks in the room, right? If it was just a normal conversation, why are you so uncomfortable laying back on the bed? Oh, and drinking with her. So to me, it is over the top. This is not some psychological trick that Sasha Baron Cohen pulled to get Rudy to act this way. To me, this is a man that has had power for too long. It's unchecked, and I think he can get away with doing whatever he wants. So in this case, I don't think he was actively pursuing her. I don't think that he was groping her. I don't think he was pushing the envelope with her. But I do think that he was, I feel confidently about this, he was definitely open to more, and he was definitely demonstrating that to her. If she wanted to take the next step, he was open to it and very available. And to me, and I think to the world that watches it, super gross. So that's my take. I in the comments, please let me know what you think. Thank you very much.